Hello, everyone. Tonight, as you settle into stillness, we're going to journey somewhere mysterious, somewhere beneath the surface, where rivers flow dark and slow, to the murky waters of South America, where an extraordinary creature moves through the shadows, a creature that carries lightning in its body, the electric eel. Not truly an eel at all, but something far more remarkable. A fish that generates electricity, powerful electricity, enough to stun a horse, enough to light a bulb. Living voltage, swimming through the Amazon, the Orinoco, hidden in muddy waters. How is this possible? How does a living creature create electricity within its own body? Control it, use it as a weapon, as a sense, as a tool for navigating its world. Tonight, we'll drift through their secrets, one by one, gently exploring each electric superpower, each adaptation, each remarkable ability. There's no hurry. Let yourself sink deeper, and together we'll discover how the electric eel became one of nature's most shocking creatures. Let's begin our journey into their electric world. The first marvel is the electricity itself, the electric discharge. But calling it just a shock is like calling lightning just a spark. An adult electric eel can generate up to 860 volts of electricity. 860 volts. That's more than 7 times the voltage of a standard electrical outlet in your home. Enough to knock a grown human off their feet. Enough to stun prey instantly, enough to deter any predator. And they can do this repeatedly, over and over, discharge after discharge, not just once, but hundreds of times if needed. The electricity comes from specialized cells called electrocytes. Thousands of them, stacked like batteries in series, running along most of the eel's body. About 80% of the eel's body is dedicated to producing electricity. Their organs compressed into just the front 20%. The rest, all electric generation. Each electrocyte is like a tiny biological battery, storing a small charge. Individually weak, just 0.15 volts each. But an eel has around 6,000 of these cells, all connected, all synchronized. When the eel wants to discharge, its brain sends a signal, a command traveling down specialized nerves. The signal reaches all 6,000 electrocytes simultaneously, and they fire together in perfect unison. The small voltages add up, stack upon stack, creating that massive 860-volt discharge. It lasts only a few milliseconds, but in that brief moment, incredible power flows through the water. The current can reach 1 ampere, enough to cause serious harm, enough to incapacitate anything nearby. This ability evolved over millions of years, starting small. The ancestors of electric eels were likely similar to modern knifefish, fish with weak electric organs used only for sensing. Many fish generate weak electric fields, using them to navigate in murky water, to sense their surroundings. It's called electrolocation, a kind of biological radar. But some lineages discovered that stronger discharges could be useful, could stun prey, could provide defense. Those individuals who could generate slightly stronger shocks caught more food, avoided more predators. They survived better, reproduced more successfully. Generation after generation, the electric organs became more powerful, more refined. More electrocytes developed. The stacking became more efficient, the synchronization more precise. The nervous system adapted to control these discharges with incredible accuracy, until we arrived at the modern electric eel, capable of generating truly dangerous levels of electricity. Not through conscious engineering, but through millions of years of natural selection. Each small improvement passed down, accumulated, refined. The pressure was constant. Those with stronger shocks thrived, those with weaker ones struggled. And evolution, patient and relentless, created these living batteries. We humans, we generate electricity naturally, not as a weapon, not as a tool. Our bodies use electricity, yes. Our nerves fire electrical signals, our hearts beat with electrical impulses. But these are tiny, measured in millivolts, fractions of a volt, nowhere near enough to affect anything outside our bodies. We invented ways to generate electricity, generators, batteries, power plants. But these are external tools, technologies we've built. The electric eel carries its power plant inside, part of its very body. No switches, no circuits we can see, just living tissue that somehow generates dangerous voltage. If a human wanted to generate 860 volts, we'd need equipment, machinery, complex devices. The eel just thinks it, and it happens, as natural as breathing. Imagine encountering an electric eel in murky water. You wouldn't see it at first. The water is dark, clouded with sediment. But the eel, it knows you're there. It senses you through its weak electric field, its constant low-level sensing. A large object entering its space, disrupting the field, registering as a potential threat. The eel, let's call him Volt, hovers motionless for a moment, assessing. Then, decision made, his brain sends the signal. In an instant, the discharge fires. 860 volts pulse through the water in all directions. If you're close enough, you feel it, a massive jolt, your muscles contracting involuntarily. Pain sharp and overwhelming, every nerve screaming. Your limbs stop obeying you, motor control lost temporarily. If you're in deep water, this could be deadly, unable to swim, unable to surface. But Volt isn't trying to kill you. He's just defending himself, warning you, making you leave. The shock lasts only milliseconds, then it's over. He's already swimming away, disappearing into the murk, his electric field pulsing gently again. Just sensing, not attacking, just being. You recover slowly, shaken, muscles aching, but alive. You've just experienced one of nature's most powerful biological weapons. And to Volt, it was just another moment, just another day, just another use of his perfectly normal ability. There's something humbling about this, about biological electricity. It reminds us that life finds solutions we never imagine. We think of electricity as something technological, something we invented. But nature discovered it first, refined it, made it part of living beings. The electric eel doesn't understand physics, doesn't know what voltage means, doesn't comprehend electrons. It just is electric, just uses what it has, what millions of years gave it. And it works perfectly, efficiently, naturally. Maybe there's a lesson here about power, about carrying strength quietly. The eel doesn't advertise its ability. It looks like a large fish, nothing more. But hidden inside is something extraordinary, something dangerous when needed. Power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just waits, ready until the moment calls for it. Now, let's explore something even more fascinating: electrolocation. The eel's electric sense. Before we talked about the high voltage discharge, the weapon, the defense. But electric eels generate electricity constantly, not just when attacking. Low voltage pulses, about 10 volts, pulsing gently all the time. These weak discharges create an electric field around the eel's body, spreading out into the water. And the eel can sense this field, can detect how objects distort it, how they change its shape. It's like biological sonar, but with electricity instead of sound. In the murky rivers where they live, vision is nearly useless. The water is too cloudy, too dark. But electricity passes through water easily, and the eel can sense everything nearby. Rocks, plants, other fish, all of them distort the electric field in different ways. The eel's skin is covered with specialized receptors, electroreceptors, that detect these tiny changes. They can sense voltage differences as small as a few microvolts, incredibly sensitive. This allows them to build a complete picture of their surroundings, a mental map of everything nearby. They navigate perfectly in total darkness, hunting, avoiding obstacles, finding shelter, all through electricity, all through this invisible field they generate and sense. It's a sense we humans don't have, can't even fully imagine. What would it be like to feel the world as electric distortions, as voltage changes? To sense a fish swimming past not by sight or sound, but by how it warps your electric field. This ability evolved for survival in low visibility environments. The ancestors of electric eels lived in murky water where eyes were nearly useless. Fish with better electric sense survived better, navigated more effectively, caught more prey. Natural selection favored improved electroreception, more sensitive receptors, better processing. The brain regions dedicated to processing electric information expanded, became more sophisticated. Over millions of years, the sense became extraordinarily refined. Now, electric eels can distinguish between different types of objects based on their electrical properties. Living tissue conducts electricity differently than rocks or plants. They can tell the difference instantly, identifying prey, avoiding obstacles, assessing threats, all through their electric sense, their constant low-voltage field. It's primary, more important to them than vision, than smell, than any other sense. Their world is electric, perceived through voltage, understood through current. We humans, we're essentially blind to electricity in the environment. We can't sense electric fields naturally, can't detect voltage without instruments. We invented tools to measure electricity, voltmeters, oscilloscopes, sensors. But these are external technologies we hold, devices we've created. The electric eel's sensors are built in, natural, part of its body from birth. No learning required, no training needed. Just instinct, just ability, just life. If we wanted to navigate like an eel, we'd need complex equipment, sonar systems, electronic mapping. The eel just feels it, as naturally as we see light, as automatically as we hear sound. We live in a world of light and sound. They live in a world of voltage and current. Same rivers, same waters, but perceived completely differently, experienced through entirely different senses. Picture an electric eel hunting at night in the darkest part of the river. No moon, no stars visible through the forest canopy above. In the water, absolute darkness. Nothing to see, nothing visible even an inch away. But to an eel named Current, the world is perfectly clear. Her low-voltage field pulses gently, spreading out 3 feet in all directions. She senses the riverbed below, rocky, uneven, each stone creating a distinct distortion. She senses plants to her left, their low conductivity creating a different signature than water. And ahead, something moves. A small fish, maybe 6 inches long. It creates a strong distortion, living tissue, high conductivity, moving quickly. Prey. Current adjusts her position, tracking the fish through electric sense alone. She can tell its exact location, its size, its movement direction. She closes in, smoothly, silently, guided perfectly by her electric field. The fish has no idea she's there. It can't see her in the darkness, can't sense her approach. But she knows exactly where it is, exactly when to strike. She lunges, mouth open, and catches it perfectly. First try, in total darkness. No luck involved, no guessing. Just perfect information, perfect execution. She swallows the fish and continues moving, her electric field pulsing steadily. The darkness is no obstacle. The murk is no challenge. She is electric, and the electric world is perfectly clear to her, always, completely. There's something beautiful about this sense, this electric perception. It shows us that reality has more dimensions than we usually consider. We think we see the world as it truly is, but we only see our slice of it. The frequencies of light our eyes detect, the range of sounds our ears hear. Electric eels perceive something we're completely blind to, experience reality in a way we can't imagine. And they're not alone. Many fish have electroreception. Sharks, rays, some catfish. Each species experiencing this electric dimension we're excluded from. It reminds us to be humble, to remember that our perception is limited, that there are aspects of reality we simply cannot access directly, cannot feel, cannot know. The electric eel lives in those aspects, navigates them effortlessly, makes them home, while we remain forever outside, only understanding them intellectually, never experientially. Now let's talk about something remarkable. Hunting with electricity. The high voltage discharge isn't just for defense. It's a sophisticated hunting tool. Electric eels are predators, feeding on fish, amphibians, small mammals, birds that fall into the water. And they use electricity in clever, complex ways to catch prey. When an eel detects potential prey through its low-voltage sense, it has options. Sometimes it just lunges and bites, simple and direct. But often, it uses its high-voltage discharge strategically. If prey is hiding, tucked into vegetation or behind rocks, the eel can use electricity to flush it out. It delivers a rapid series of high-voltage pulses toward the hiding spot. These pulses cause involuntary muscle contractions in any fish nearby. The prey's muscles twitch. It moves reflexively, giving away its exact position. The eel senses this movement through its electric field and strikes precisely. Even more remarkably, eels can use their electricity to immobilize prey before catching it. When hunting faster, more agile fish, direct pursuit might fail. So the eel delivers a strong shock from a distance. The electricity travels through the water, reaching the prey, causing full-body muscle tetanus. The prey's muscles all contract at once, freezing it in place, unable to swim, unable to escape. The eel calmly approaches the paralyzed prey and swallows it without struggle. It's like a ranged weapon, a taser, a remote control over other animals' nervous systems. The eel doesn't need to touch its prey to disable it, just needs to be close enough for the current to reach. And it can modulate its discharges, adjusting voltage and frequency for different situations. Higher voltage for larger prey, rapid pulses for tracking, sustained discharge for immobilization. The control is precise, deliberate, sophisticated. This hunting strategy evolved because of the challenges of their environment. In murky water, fast prey can escape easily, evading visual pursuit. But you can't evade electricity. It spreads through water in all directions. Eels that developed better hunting, discharge patterns caught more prey, grew larger, reproduced more. Natural selection refined the technique over countless generations. The nervous system became more sophisticated, gaining finer control over discharge timing and intensity. The hunting strategies became instinctive, automatic, perfectly adapted. Now, electric eels are apex predators in their environment, not through speed or strength, but through electricity, through a weapon that nothing else in their habitat can match or counter. We humans, we hunt with tools, spears, bows, guns, nets. External objects we've invented, technologies separate from our bodies. We're weak without our tools, relatively defenseless, unable to catch fast prey barehanded. But electric eels carry their hunting tool inside, always ready, never lost, never forgotten. No maintenance required, no ammunition needed, just thought, and lightning happens. If we wanted to immobilize prey from a distance, we'd need weapons, technology, manufactured equipment. The eel just discharges, as easy as flexing a muscle, as natural as blinking. Their weapon is biological part of them, inseparable from their being. And it's more versatile than many human tools, capable of multiple functions, adaptable to different situations. That's the power of evolutionary engineering. Millions of years of refinement, creating something we still can't replicate biologically. Imagine an electric eel hunting in the early morning, water still and quiet. A small caiman, a young one, is swimming at the surface, hunting for fish. The eel, named Surge, detects it through his electric sense. Large object moving steadily. Surge isn't afraid. He's 5 feet long, fully grown, powerful, but he's also cautious. The caiman is a predator too, with jaws and teeth. Direct confrontation isn't wise. So Surge positions himself below the caiman, staying out of sight in the murky water. He charges his electric organs, preparing a strong discharge. Then, in an instant, he releases it. 860 volts pulse upward through the water. The caiman convulses violently, its muscles contracting uncontrollably. It can't swim, can't control its limbs, thrashing helplessly. Surge doesn't attack. He just waits, watching. The caiman, stunned and frightened, manages to paddle to the shore and pulls itself out, gasping. It won't return to this part of the river. It's learned, been taught a shocking lesson. Surge relaxes, his electric field returning to its gentle pulse. The threat is gone, the territory defended, the message delivered. All with a momentary burst of electricity, no physical contact needed, no injury sustained. Just power, applied precisely, achieving exactly what was needed. He continues his patrol, lord of his domain, carrying lightning within. There's something fascinating about electricity as a tool, as a weapon. It's invisible, intangible, but utterly real and powerful. You can't see it coming, can't dodge it, can't defend against it with armor or shields. It just reaches you through the water, affecting your very nervous system. The eel has mastered something that bypasses all normal defenses. And it uses this power judiciously, not wastefully, only when needed. There's wisdom in that, in having great power but using it sparingly, in being capable of harm but choosing restraint, using force only when necessary. The electric eel could shock everything constantly, but it doesn't. It conserves, it chooses, it decides. Power combined with control, strength combined with judgment. Maybe that's worth thinking about, carrying with us. True power isn't about constant display, constant use. It's about having capability and using it wisely, precisely, only when the situation truly calls for it. Finally, let's talk about something surprising. Communication. Electric eels use their electricity to communicate with each other, to send signals, to convey information. During mating season, males and females find each other in the murky water through electric signals. They can't see each other, can't rely on visual displays or bright colors. So they use distinct electrical patterns, different pulse frequencies, different discharge rhythms. Males produce specific electric signatures that advertise their presence, their size, their fitness. Females can sense these signals from a distance, evaluating potential mates electrically. They choose based on signal strength, on discharge pattern quality, on electric performance. It's courtship through voltage, attraction through amperage, And during territorial disputes, males use electricity to establish dominance. They approach each other, both generating their electric fields. They can sense each other's size and power through these fields, assessing each other. Sometimes one male backs down immediately, recognizing superior electric strength. Other times, they engage in electric duels, both discharging repeatedly, testing endurance. The one who can maintain stronger, longer discharges wins, establishes dominance, claims the territory, all without physical fighting, without injury, just electric competition. And mothers use gentle, low-voltage signals to communicate with their young, keeping them close, guiding them. The babies respond to these signals, following their mother's electric signature through the murky water. It's a language we can't hear, can't sense, existing only in the electric dimension. But to electric eels, it's clear communication, conveying meaning, establishing relationships, organizing social behavior. This electric communication evolved because of their environment and their abilities. They already had electric organs for hunting and sensing. Why not use them for communication too? Fish that could signal electrically had advantages in finding mates, coordinating behavior. Natural selection favored clearer signals, more distinct patterns, better reception. The nervous system adapted to produce various discharge patterns to interpret signals from others. Over time, a complex electric communication system emerged, refined, became sophisticated. Now, electric eels have a rich electric vocabulary, different signals for different contexts, all invisible to us, all silent, all purely electrical. We humans communicate through sound and vision primarily, language and facial expressions. Our communication is rich, complex, capable of expressing detailed thoughts and emotions. But it's limited to those who can hear or see, to daylight conditions, to relatively close range. Electric communication works in complete darkness, over considerable distances through water, between individuals who never see each other. It's a completely different channel, a different dimension of information transfer. And we're deaf to it, can only detect it with instruments, never experience it directly. The electric eels are having conversations all around them. Beneath the surface, constant electric chatter, and we remain completely unaware, standing on the shore, hearing nothing, sensing nothing. There's an entire social world happening electrically, invisible to us, unknowable through direct experience. Picture a breeding season in a quiet tributary of the Amazon. Several male electric eels have gathered in a section of the river, each claiming a territory. They're all generating their low-voltage fields, but also producing distinct mating calls. Electric pulses in specific patterns, rhythms, frequencies. A male named Spark produces a strong, steady pattern, advertising his size and vigor. Another male, older, produces a slightly different pattern, deeper pulses, slower rhythm. A female enters the area, sensing all these electric signals simultaneously. She evaluates them, comparing, judging, deciding. She moves towards Spark, attracted by his signal strength, his pattern quality. Spark senses her approach, modifies his signal, producing a courtship pattern now. She responds with her own signal, accepting, agreeing. They circle each other slowly, their electric fields mingling, synchronizing. No sounds, no visual displays, no colors. Just electricity, just voltage patterns, just signals. To them, it's beautiful, it's meaningful, its communication as clear as any conversation. They spawn together, releasing eggs and sperm into the water, still surrounded by their electric fields. The whole courtship, the entire interaction, conducted electrically. A love story told in volts and amperes, romantic in its own electric way. And all around them, other signals, other communications, an electric community invisible to human perception. There's something poetic about this, about communication through electricity. It reminds us that connection can take many forms, that reaching another being doesn't require words. The electric eels find each other, understand each other, form bonds, all through voltage. No language as we know it, but communication nonetheless, clear and effective. Sometimes the most profound connections happen in ways we can't see, through channels we don't access. Maybe all around us there are forms of communication, of connection that we're simply not equipped to perceive. The electric eels remind us of this, living in their electric dimension, connecting electrically, while we stand outside, only guessing at what they're saying, what they're feeling, what they're sharing. Let's step back now and see the whole story, the evolutionary journey of electric eels. It begins about 150 million years ago with the ancestors of all electric fish. Early fish developing weak electric organs, probably modified muscle tissue, generating tiny voltages. At first, just sensing, just detecting distortions in self-generated fields, navigating murky water. This was useful, provided advantages, and natural selection favored it. Over millions of years, the electric organs became more sophisticated, more powerful. Some lineages developed stronger discharges, discovering that they could stun prey, deter predators. The electric eel lineage diverged about 20 million years ago from related knife fish. They specialized in powerful electricity, dedicating most of their body to electric generation. Their other organs compressed, their shape elongated, everything optimized for electric power. Generation after generation, those with stronger shocks survived better, reproduced more. The electrocytes multiplied, the nervous control improved, the discharge strength increased. By a few million years ago, electric eels were recognizable as we know them today. Powerful, sophisticated, perfectly adapted to their murky river environment. They spread through South American river systems, becoming apex predators, filling a unique ecological niche. During ice ages, during climate changes, through everything, they persisted. Their electric abilities gave them advantages that transcended changing conditions. As long as there was water, as long as there was prey, they thrived. And now, in the present, electric eels stand as one of nature's most remarkable creations. Not the strongest animal, not the largest, not the fastest, but perhaps one of the most uniquely powerful, carrying within them a weapon, a sense, a communication system, all based on electricity, all evolved naturally, all refined by time, all encoded in their genes. No individual eel knows it's extraordinary. They're just being what they are, using what they have. But to us, looking from outside, studying them, learning from them, they're astonishing. These living batteries, these electric beings, these creatures of voltage and current. That's the deep story, the evolutionary story of how electric eels became masters of electricity. Not through technology, not through invention, but through millions of years of natural refinement. Until generating lightning became as natural as breathing, and electricity became life itself. So, here we are at the end of our journey into the electric world. We've drifted through the secrets, the superpowers of the electric eel. The high voltage discharge, 860 volts, enough to stun, to defend, to dominate. The electrolocation, sensing through electricity, navigating perfect darkness, perceiving what we cannot. The hunting techniques, using electricity as a weapon, immobilizing prey remotely, controlling other creatures' muscles. The communication, electric signals conveying meaning, finding mates, establishing territories, connecting invisibly. And we've seen how it all evolved, slowly, over millions of years. Each adaptation a response to challenges, each ability refined by survival, until electric eels became what they are, living generators, creatures of lightning. But here's what strikes me most as we prepare to drift into sleep. The electric eel doesn't marvel at its own power. It doesn't think about its abilities. To the eel, generating electricity is just normal, just life, just existing. It doesn't know it's remarkable, doesn't understand how extraordinary it is. It just swims, just hunts, just lives, using what it has naturally. And maybe that's the real lesson, the thing worth carrying into sleep. That remarkable abilities don't require awareness of their remarkableness. That power doesn't need to be announced, shown off, constantly displayed. The eel carries lightning within, but moves quietly through the water, unassuming, just being. We all carry our own kind of power, our own abilities, our own strengths. Maybe we don't generate electricity, but we have our gifts, our capacities, our potential. And like the eel, maybe we don't need to constantly announce them, prove them, display them. Maybe true power is quiet, is natural, is simply using what we have when the moment needs it. The eel doesn't discharge constantly. It conserves, it waits, it chooses its moments. And when the moment comes, when the situation requires it, the power is there, ready, effective. Perhaps we could learn from this, about carrying our strengths lightly, about using them wisely, not holding back from false modesty, but also not forcing displays when they're not needed. Just being, just living, just having our abilities ready, trusting that when they're needed, they'll be there. The electric eel doesn't worry whether its discharge will work. It just discharges, trusting millions of years of evolution. Maybe we could trust ourselves that way too. Trust our own built-in capabilities, our own natural gifts. Not overthinking, not doubting, just acting when action is needed, using what we have naturally. So as you drift off tonight, let that settle in. The image of an electric eel, gliding through dark water, carrying incredible power. Not anxious about it, not worried, not constantly testing it, just having it, being it, moving through life with quiet confidence, knowing that the power is there, ready, sufficient. You carry your own electricity, your own power, your own unique abilities. Different from the eels, uniquely yours, but real nonetheless. And you don't need to prove it constantly, don't need to discharge unnecessarily. Just carry it, quietly, confidently, naturally. And when the moment comes, when the situation calls for it, it will be there. Your strength will flow, your ability will manifest, your power will work. Just like the eel's discharge, natural, automatic, effective. Rest now like an eel in quiet water, powerful but peaceful, electric but calm, capable but relaxed, strong but still. Let the image drift through your mind, settling, soothing, calming. The eel surrounded by its gentle electric field, sensing, being, existing peacefully. You are powerful in your own way. You are capable. You are enough. The power is there, always within you, ready when needed. Sleep now, peaceful, electric, complete, like an eel in its river, knowing its power, living its truth. Everything is well. Everything is exactly as it should be. Good night.